Welcome back to Ash's Reality Recaps. This is the Curse of Oak Island speedy recap where we're going to tell you everything that had happened in last night's episode. Good, bad, indifferent. Now this episode was so good I watched it twice. Yeah, no, I'm kidding. But it was actually a half-decent episode. Alright, it was okay. On a scale of 1 to 10, I give it about a 4. Because they found something. But what they found just goes to continue to prove that the military was on Oak Island at some point in the past. Beyond that, they do everything they possibly can to tie every crazy off-the-wall idea together that somehow this is tied to the Templars. But anyhow, let's jump into this episode. I'm going to make this easy for you. I'm going to show you a short video clip that's going to tell you exactly what happened in last night's episode.
Secrets. The message being conveyed in code is that the Ark of the Covenant is on Oak Island.
You can put X on the spot.
Correct.
Holy cow!
Wow! Is it truly silver?
It is silver, about 90%.
Yeah.
In 40 years, I can't remember a piece of silver.
Is that it? I see it, mate. Underneath that boulder. Look at that!
And honestly, that in a nutshell summed up this entire episode. But let's go ahead and break it down a little bit just so you know what you just saw. Alright, first and foremost, guys, let's talk about the garden shaft. So Dumas Contracting have reached the bottom of the garden shaft. The last two episodes, they found the floor of the tunnel that doesn't contain walls or a roof, and nobody knows where the walls or the roof went to. But there's a floor of a tunnel. Well, now that Dumas has gotten to the bottom, they're going to go ahead and do the horizontal drilling out of that shaft that they built to see if they can find any treasure. Sneak peek, they showed in next week's episode that they find water and the garden shaft starts to fill with water because now they're going to speculate that they hit the flood tunnel. But at this point we know that everything under this island, every tunnel, nook, cranny, tube, PVC pipe is full of water, so probably not a flood tunnel as much as just a flooded shaft or tunnel or something along that lines. But anyhow, let's move on to our next little bit. For our next bit, we're going to set it up and let you know that this is John Edwards, and he is a researcher of unknown origin that supposedly has spent 20-some years researching the Templars. Let's see what he has to say. Well, this fine, upstanding young man somehow came in possession of some top-secret Templar literature that was published. Top-secret literature that was published that he was able to go through and find some markings and diagrams of something that looked like, it's right up here, the Ark of the Covenant. And at some point in one of these drawings there was something that looked like Oak Island. And he pieced all these pieces together and said, man, all these things got to be on Oak Island. It's right here. I found the puzzle. I found the secret. And, well, he says if you overlap the Tree of Life onto Nolan's Cross, that it matches up perfectly. Imagine that. This is like, what, 11 seasons in, and in the 11 seasons we've had 30-some things that matched up perfectly with Nolan's Cross pointing directly to the treasure, which 0% of them have been accurate so far. But anyhow, this individual says that if you put the Tree of Life symbol over top of Nolan's Cross, it'll direct you straight to the treasure, or treasures, because now apparently there's multiple treasures on Oak Island. But anyhow, let's move on to our next point. You guys get the point. It is what it is. And gentlemen, sit down, because you're not going to believe this, but they found silver on Lot 5 inside of the foundation of whatever residence used to be there. Real silver, 90% silver, was found on Oak Island. It took them 11 years to find one small piece of silver. But unfortunately, and in my opinion, unfortunately, after doing some research on this piece of silver and the button they found on Lot 5, it all ties back into the military being on Oak Island, which is a well-known fact at this point. The button was gold covered, which showed that it was probably an officer or a gentleman. This silver tassel here is probably like a tassel cover or something along that lines. So this just shows that the military was on Oak Island, on Lot 5, and probably had something to do with the structure that was there. But it did not stop the team from speculating on maybe the military was looking for the treasure of Oak Island. Let's move on to our last point. You guys get it at this point. And last, but not least in this episode, down in the swamp area, the team on Oak Island dug into the swamp some more and found another wooden structure that appears to be the remains of a dock or a wharf or somewhere you would just park a boat and unload stuff. Possibly a treasure, as they kept saying. While examining this area, Gary Drayton did some metal detecting and found a spike that was still inside of some wood that he basically speculated, well, it had to be a fastener. No duh. It's a spike. in some wood that's fastening things together. It's most definitely a fastener. But anyhow, that is your Curse of Oak Island recap. Hopefully that helps save you an hour of your life, and you can just watch this recap and know what happened in the episode. See y'all next week. Thanks for joining in Ash's Reality Recaps.